Welcome to Concept Craft. We are presenting step-by-step videos training to crack your certification exam, so you can gain the confidence to take on any accounting challenge. Now let's begin our today's lesson. Adjusting sales tax. Learning outcomes. In this lesson, we'll cover adjusting sales tax in QuickBooks Online. Topics: when you might need to adjust sales tax liability, adjusting the sales tax on an invoice, making an adjustment on a sales tax return, making adjustments correctly. In addition to automatically calculating the sales tax that applies to products sold and work done, QuickBooks Online also calculates and tracks tax liability and displays it in the Sales Tax Center. However, sometimes you or your client will need to adjust their sales tax liability. This is where manual intervention is required. How can QuickBooks Online help? With QuickBooks Online, you or your client can easily adjust their sales tax liability, either at the time of sale or when they're filing a return. When you might need to adjust sales tax liability. Examples of when you or your client might need to adjust their sales tax liability include when the client's state gives an early payment discount that needs to be recorded, when a penalty needs to be added, when use tax needs to be added, when the client needs to adjust up or down because a tax agency accepts whole dollars only, when a prepayment needs to be made, adjusting the sales tax on an invoice. By default, QuickBooks Online automatically adds sales tax to invoices for taxable items. However, you or your client can always see how QuickBooks Online calculated the tax so you or they can correct any errors or override the tax charge if needed. Let's try this by creating an invoice for a client. Start by creating an invoice for a customer. Populate the fields and add a taxable item. Add a shipping to address. Note that QuickBooks Online changes the location field label from location of sale to shipping from, but still maintains the seller's address. However, the sales tax calculation does change to show where the goods are being shipped. If your client is using automated sales tax for this customer, the sales tax rate will indicate that the sales tax is based on location. If you want to see how sales tax is calculated, select the See the Math link in the first section. QuickBooks Online shows that the customer is marked taxable. If they should be tax exempt, indicate that by selecting the Edit link and checking the relevant box. The next section shows how the sales tax is calculated based on the addresses the client is shipping from into. Select the Edit link if you need to specify that they are not shipping the items. The last section shows the tax categories for the items on the invoice. If the tax category is incorrect, you can edit it by selecting the Edit link. If no special category is applied, the tax rate will default to the standard rate based on the shipping address if populated, or the seller's address or location of sale, if the shipping address is not entered. It does not consider any special rules or exemptions for that state. Here, select the Override this amount link to enter your own calculations. To close this drawer, select Close. Finally, select Save and Send. That's it. Making an adjustment on a sales tax return. Let's now look at how you or your client can make a sales tax adjustment on a sales tax return. 1. First, select View Tax Return for the sales tax return. 2. Then select the plus Add an Adjustment link. You or your client can make multiple adjustments to the same payment, with each adjustment posting to different accounts on the chart of accounts. 3. Next, choose the reason for the adjustment from the drop-down. Credit, which must be posted to an income account. Prior prepayments, which must be posted to an income account. Prepayments, which must be posted to an expense account. Other, penalties, interest, rounding, which can be posted to an income or expense account. Choosing an income account reduces sales tax, and choosing an expense account increases sales tax. 4. Use the other fields to enter the followings. The adjustment date. The account associated with this transaction. Remember, the type of account determines whether the adjustment will increase or decrease sales tax. The amount of the adjustment. Note that only positive numbers are accepted here. Once the adjustment is made, QuickBooks Online updates the return and allows you or your client to make additional adjustments. Summing up. Learning outcomes. Well done. In this lesson, we covered adjusting sales tax in QuickBooks Online. Knowledge recap. There are a number of reasons why sales tax liability might need to be manually adjusted. You can now support your clients to make any adjustment easily, either by changing the invoice or recording an adjustment on the return. Next steps. This is the last lessons in this subject. Navigate back to the personalized training page to pick your next lesson.